countdown for blast-off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, the time after the next atomic war. The place, somewhere in the United States. The story, The Moon is Green by Fritz Leiber.
The moon was green. Green as emeralds, green as leaves, green as grass. I reached my arms toward it and let it bathe me. I closed my eyes and let it kiss me.
Effie? Effie, where are you?
Oh, dear Lord, he mustn't see it. It's so beautiful, and he always kills beauty.
Effie!
In the bedroom, Hank. I've got to close the shutters before he comes. Mustn't.
Effie! What the devil are you doing? Close those shutters, you fool! Come away from there. You're trying to destroy yourself and me, too. You know those shutters are not safe to open for another 5 years.
I only wanted to look at the moon.
The moon? Here, count yourself for radiation. You know what the Central Committee would do to you for breaking the lead shield?
Kill me. I wouldn't mind.
Don't talk like that.
Would it be so different from being shut up in a lead coffin the way we are now? Would it be worse than the eternal thud of the air conditioners and the radiation filters?
Be still and count yourself. Good Lord. We're past the danger zone. Oh, wait a minute. Did you take off your watch?
No.
Well, give it to me. You fool. You little fool. What am I going to do with you? Can't you understand what kind of a world you're living in? Can't you?
Oh, yes, husband. I can understand only too well. It's the world that can't seem to understand. The world that went on stockpiling hydrogen bombs. The world that started testing those bombs, telling itself it hadn't really exploded enough to make the air dangerous. And then began to throw them across continents, one nation against another. It lasted about 2 months. And after that, the fury of doomed men who thought only of taking with them as many of the enemy as possible. After the fury came the time of terror. Men and women with death sifting into their bones and through their nostrils, fighting for bare survival under a dust-hazed sky that played fantastic tricks with the light of the sun and the green light of the moon. The only chance for existence was to claim one of those underground radiation-shielded places. They went to the strong. And afterward, the waiting behind the lead shields. The endless, interminable waiting.
You understand, I suppose, that we were allowed to reclaim this ground-level apartment only because the committee believed us to be responsible people, and because I've been making a darn good showing lately.
Yes, Hank, I understand.
It's a privilege to have some privacy, you know. I could send you back to the basement tenements. Would you like that?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Anything rather than that bedded huddling and that shameless communal sprawl. Yet is this really so much better? Being on the surface is meaningless. It only tantalizes. And yet...
Well?
No, Hank. I don't want to go back underneath.
Well, then try to behave yourself. Coming up through the tunnel just now, I decided I'd better talk to you. Frankly, Effie, the committee's beginning to be a little concerned about our lack of children.
Oh.
Charlie Baker asked me this morning if I'd like my name put on the list for a free woman.
You needn't bother.
What do you mean?
I mean, we're going to have a baby.
What? Effie, are you sure?
Yes.
Effie, that's wonderful. It's magnificent. Do you realize what this means to my rating with the committee? You know how important it is to the community to raise healthy members for the day when we can resume the surface war.
Yes, I've heard the broadcast.
We'll announce it at the meeting of the Junior Committee tonight.
Tonight?
Well, you hadn't forgotten about it, had you? It's the annual banquet. Now, you brighten yourself up and put on your best dress. I want the other juniors to see what a handsome wife the new member has got. What's the trouble now?
Well, I'm terribly sorry, Hank, but you'll have to go alone. I'm really not well.
There you go again. First the infantile, inexcusable business of opening the lead shutter, and now this. Don't you know what this could mean to my reputation, Effie?
I'm sorry.
You're coming, Effie. This is just neurotic pampering.
Hank, I'll just be sick and you wouldn't be proud of me at all.
Now listen, Effie. Tonight's too important. It'll cause a lot of bad comment if a new member's wife isn't present. Now, you know how just a hint of sickness starts all kinds of rumors about radiation disease. Now, what do you say?
No.
Effie, you're going. There's nothing wrong with you if I have to...
Hank, you're hurting my arm. It isn't good for the baby.
Oh, the baby? I'd almost forgotten. Oh, no, we have to be very careful. I suppose if I explain to them you aren't there because of the baby, it will make a difference.
Yes, I'll just stay here alone till you come back. When will you be back?
Well, those things usually go on pretty late. So if you're expecting company, you needn't worry.
Hank?
Yes, Effie?
Do you remember when we were first married?
Of course I remember.
You liked to go skiing, remember? You said it was like feeding a hunger for beauty, being up on a mountain covered with snow.
What are you talking about?
You forgot.
I haven't forgotten. I have just as much desire to get outside as you do, but I know there's no chance for me. I've got to see that my children and their children survive to see the sun again. We've got to behave like adults, to make sacrifices. We've got to keep the strain pure.
Hank, what do you suppose it's like for them?
For whom?
The freaks and the mutants, the outsiders.
What do you know about them?
I remember some of the pariahs. They were hairless, cringing creatures with radiation welts all over their bodies. They came begging to be taken in during the last months of the terror. The committee ordered them shot down, just like dogs.
We don't like to talk about that.
Hank, are they still out there?
Effie, this is the sort of talk that's just morbid.
Are they?
Yes. There are still humans out there. At least they were humans. They know better than to come near the shelters now.
Poor creatures.
I can't stand here discussing this nonsense all night. I have to get going. And for the last time, are you sure you won't come down with me?
No, I'll wait here.
Don't you get lonely?
No.
I was talking to Jim Barnes today. He told me he wasn't going to be able to make it to the banquet either. Touch of the old flu, he said. That isn't like him, is it? Effie, are you listening?
What?
You remember Jim Barnes, don't you? He used to be sweet on you, said you had the soul of a poet.
Well, yes, I remember him. Why?
Never mind. Well, I guess I got a bit sharp with you. I'm sorry about that. I was excited about being made a junior and the baby and all. Selfish of me. I apologize. As you get to bed early, I'll probably go over to the men's dorm for a while after the meeting. You'll be completely alone for the next 4 hours. Do you mind?
What? Oh, no.
Good night, Effie.
He looked at me strangely, and then his features returned to their usual, harder, more calculating expression. Was it possible that he had sensed my very dream? Had it been a dream? Oh, it must have been. It wasn't possible that it had really happened. It had just been an illusion, a silly projection out of my starved romantic imagination. I waited until Hank's footsteps vanished down in the tunnel. And then I waited until I heard it. No, it isn't possible. There's nothing out there. Nothing but deformed monsters. I mustn't open the shutters. I mustn't. Oh, dear Lord, I've got to know. I've got to know. I've got to.
Well, now, so you haven't forgotten our meeting after all.
You.
And were you expecting someone else?
It wasn't a dream. You really were out there last night.
Oh, yes, on the night before.
I was afraid I dreamed it. I still think it's a dream.
Lean out into the moonlight a moment.
Is this a dream?
Or was it a flesh and blood kiss?
And your name is Patrick.
Aye?
Patrick.
Well, now, did you open the window to find God's own breath, the fresh evening air, or did you open it to invite me in?
Oh, of course. Come in. Come in.
Come, Joe Lewis. Here, now, let me help you. Being a cat with 12 toes on each foot and ears like boxing gloves is a bit cumbersome. I have to help him a bit, you see. Come on now, laddie. There, now. Is your husband about?
No, he won't be home for a while.
Well, still, I'd better close the cupboard.
Oh, no. Leave them open.
The radiation?
I don't care. I want to see the moonlight.
Aye. Would you have a bit of food? Joe Lewis and I are starved for a bite to eat.
Oh, yes, I'll get it.
Oh, Effie?
Yes.
Oh, but you're a fair creature.
Thank you. His face wasn't horrible at all. Only thin and sensitive and terribly sad. And there were no radiation welts or scars on his skin. He looked just as he had looked that first night when I opened the lead shutter and saw him crouched at the window. And now I knew it had been no dream. He was an outsider, a pariah. He was my love. Here's some canned meat and a food pill, and I put on some water for coffee.
Oh, bless you, Arun. Come on now, Joe. Here's a bit of meat for your black soul to feed on. He's hungry, poor creature. Well, then, sit down, girl, where I can look at you.
All right.
Have you missed me?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I've had some thoughts of you, I dare say.
Talk to me.
Of what?
Tell me again about outside, what it's like.
Again?
Again and again.
Well, now, outside... You say the coffee's heating?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, it is a wonderland for sure. More amazing than you and your entombed folk could ever imagine. A veritable fairyland.
Tell me the truth about
The
it.
truth? I am telling you the truth, my love.
But the bombs and the dust made only ugliness.
At first. But then they changed the life in the seed of them that were brave enough to stay. Wonders beyond wondering bloomed and walked. Well, have none of you been outside?
Well, the radiation teams go up into the ruined buildings once or twice a year to find canned food and batteries. But they can only work for a few minutes at a time.
Ah, sure, those blind-souled slugs could never see anything but food and batteries anyway.
Oh, tell me what you see, beyond the city, I mean.
Ah, there are gardens there. Gardens where a dozen buds blossom for every one before. And the flowers have petals a yard across.
Oh.
And there are stingless bees as big as sparrows supping their nectar.
But did the radiation make all the cats like this one?
Like this runt? Why, no, girl. They are grown spotted and huge as leopards. But they're gentle beasts, for the dust has burned all the murder out of every living thing.
Well, Hank says the dust kills.
Would you like to hear the poem I made?
Yes.
I'd say it. Fire can hurt me, or water, or the weight of earth. But by some curious coincidence, the dust is my friend.
Oh, more.
Well, then, there are robins like cockatoos and squirrels like a prince's ermine, all under a treasure chest of sun and moon and stars that the dust changes from ruby to emerald and sapphire. And there are... What is it, love? What's that look for?
There's one thing you've never told me about.
And what is that?
The children. The new children.
Ah, now the children.
The truth.
The truth?
Promise.
I swear on the skin of my cat here. The children, is it, huh? Well, now, if you'd ever catch a glimpse of one of them, you'd never doubt me again. They have long limbs and smiling, delicate faces and white teeth and the finest hair. They're so nimble that even I, a sprightly man and somewhat enlivened by the dust, feel crippled beside them. And their thoughts dance like flames.
But what's wrong with them, Patrick?
Wrong? Nay, love, there's nothing wrong. Different, perhaps, and new, but not wrong.
Oh, tell me.
Well, then, they do have 7 fingers on each hand and 8 toes on either foot. But they're much more beautiful for it. And they have large, beautiful ears that the sun shines through. So lovely and delicate to behold.
How do they behave? Their minds?
Not as you and I, perhaps. They play happily in the gardens all day long, laughing and finding joy in the simplest beauty.
Are they defective?
Well, now, by the standards out there, you're the defective one shut up here all the while, hating and crawling in ugliness and feeling dirty. No, they're quite lovely. And they're quite perfect, the new children.
Oh, you're telling the truth. You're not making it up.
It is true, every word of it. Oh, I'll admit you have to look a bit hard to find these things I've been telling you. But find them you may. Do you believe me?
Oh, yes. Yes, I believe you. But I'm afraid.
Give me your hand.
Here.
Now listen to me. You must not be afraid to do as your heart tells you. That's why I'm here.
Oh, Patrick. Patrick.
Don't either of you move.
Oh, Hank,
Stay there, I'll blast both of you.
Hank, but...
Carrying on like this, and not even with a man of the community, with an outcast, a pariah.
No, man, I know what you're thinking, but you're wrong. I just happened to be coming by, hungry, a lonely tramp, And I knocked at the shutter, and your wife was a bit foolish and let her kind heart get the best of it.
Do you think you can sell me that?
Hank, please.
So you're going to have a child, my dear. My child?
Yes, your child.
I should pull this trigger right now. I should shoot him down in cold blood.
Man, you're mad. I never touched your wife.
You contaminated pariah. You're going to die. Don't you know that?
Hank, if you kill him, you kill the bringer of the best news we've ever had. Oh, Hank, put aside your jealousy for just a minute and listen to me. Patrick has something wonderful to tell us, all of us.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need no longer fear the dust. Oh, Hank, remember how it was with me. All the exposure I had, and yet there are no burns. Hank, those who were brave enough to stay outside have adapted. They've become a beautiful people.
Did he tell you that?
Everything that grew or moved was purified.
He filled you with lies so he could take you.
No, it's true. The radioactivity is almost gone, burned out.
Effie, I've been out there. It's horrid.
No. You've been blinded. Blinded to beauty. Blinded to living.
Good Lord, you believe it?
It's true. It must be true. Look at Patrick. He's living proof. He's been outside for a year, and there isn't a mark on him, not a scar. It's because he's brave. And the dust can't hurt the brave.
Oh, you think that's it, huh? All right, Effie, I'm going to prove something to you. You, Patrick, take this radiation counter. Take it.
Very well.
Press the button and count yourself. Go on.
As you say.
Read it. Read it!
1,700.
Yeah, you hear that, Effie? 1,700 radioactives, enough to kill 1,000 men. He's like raw radium. If you turn out the light, he'll glow green in the dark. A week's exposure to him will destroy you.
What are you proving, Hank?
That he's a freak. A freak! Get away from him. He's destroying you right now.
May I shut this thing off now?
Patrick, is it true?
Yes, I'm afraid 'tis true. Oh, you do well to cringe, both of you. I'm living death. I'm death itself. As your husband so wisely said, I'm a freak. Just like the man who ate nails and walked on fire. Only my oddity is that for some unknown reason, the dust can't harm me. I'm the only one. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Not too close now. And examine the man who couldn't die. And now, if you don't mind, I'll go back to my dead world and leave you to yours.
Wait. All of those beautiful things.
It gets so lonely out there. And I was starved for beauty. And so were you.
There's no garden out there.
Garden. Listen to me, the both of you. What is out there is more terrible than either of you can imagine.
You're worse than Hank, even. He only killed beauty once. But you brought it to life so you could kill it again. You're afraid. Afraid of the loneliness out there. Well, I'm not afraid.
Effie, keep away from the window.
No, I'm not afraid. Maybe there is no garden out there. And no beautiful, strange children to play happily. But there can be if we're brave enough.
Effie!
I'm going, Hank! I'm going, Hank!
Effie, come back, Effie!
It's no use trying to keep her, man.
Effie, come back! I love you! Come back!
It is no use, man.
There's still time. She stood the dust better than most. There's still time. The dust won't hurt you. Find her. Bring her back. I'll reward you. I'll give you food.
If you want her, you'll have to go yourself.
She'll die.
Maybe she won't.
How can you say such a thing?
Because perhaps she's like me. Perhaps the two of us together could be the first of a race that'll live in sunlight again.
Get against the wall where I can kill you easier.
Why will you kill me? Is killing all the answer you have to life's riddles? Is the smell of blood better than compassion? Is it more joy to own her than to be loved by her?
Move!
Man, you'll not kill me. Shall I tell you why? Because my flesh will not die. I live 1,000 years.
Not your brain, Patrick. And that's where this gun is aimed.
Well, then you leave me no choice. You get it!
Hey! Call him up! My arm!
Joe, stop! Well, then I have your weapon now. Out there, you see, we freaks have learned to live together and to cooperate. It's the only way we can stay alive. Oh, I'll give Effie your love. Come on, Joe. Oh, you'd better close the shutters as soon as we're gone. The moon is beautiful, but it's deadly.
I was waiting for him at the end of the ruined street. When we looked back, we saw Hank closing the lead shutters on himself. We were alone in the world. Above us, the moon was green. I bent and picked up a handful of the dust and let it trickle through my fingers. And I remembered the words of Patrick's poem. Fire can hurt me, or water, or the weight of the earth. But by some strange coincidence, the dust is my friend.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Advance Agent by Christopher Anvil, the story of a spy who had the worst possible break. The disguise he had assumed was that of a famous man. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Moon is Green, a story from the
Check, testing, fuck it. Let's do this indeed. You want to see me get squashed? Check this out. school, huh? I got squashed. Well, good morning, everyone. How are we today? I am here. That's all I'm gonna claim, is that I'm here. That's all I can say. I can't claim any more than that. Right? Oh my gosh. Like, totally for sure, dude. I was up late. I was up till after 1. And I didn't have a TV on to help me go to sleep, so I didn't get to sleep, really. And then, of course, I had to get up twice to take a frickin' leak, and all I had was 3 hours to get sleep. So I didn't get to sleep quick. I barely got to sleep at all before I had to get up and take a leak. So it was quite a bummer. It was a heavy duty bummer there, buddy. I was bumming. And then, like, less than an hour, it was like 3:20, and I'm awake to take a leak. And I'm like, come on, it's like less than an hour. If I sleep during my snoozes, I'll get an hour, but it's gonna be less than an hour. And it was horrible. But it was worth it, because what I got done last night on my computer was pretty frickin' fantabulous. Yeah, I redeveloped the Dimension X key graphic and animations and stuff. And it came out pretty fucking cool. So I've got more going on the page. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah. I got two weeks worth of episodes in the can, and now I'm starting the 3rd week with more. It's an enhanced graphic for the video, so it's pretty cool. I dare say that I will probably enhance it more at some point along the way. I'll probably add some other stuff to that. Essentially what it is it's my home and space. So it's gonna kind of reflect me, right? It's gotta be me. It looks like this, basically, alright? It's that with a spaceship portal. And it's kind of like, it really is, it's kind of like that. Kind of a different version of that, but something like that. So that's pretty cool. I just got a message from Facebook. Somebody left a comment about something or other. Ha 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 ha. So I'm just going to see if it's about t-shirts. Oh, it was somebody I know tagged. Okay. Alright, somebody's weird post. Absolutely. Southern California Air Show. Where is this? March Air Force Base. Well, that's less. Well, it's about an hour from here. Really. I haven't been there since the 1990s, the early 90s, I believe. The last time I went to the air show at the March Air Force Base. And I got to meet Pappy Boynton. Yes, Black Sheep Squadron Pappy Boynton. Pretty cool, huh? Hey, what's going on, Robbie? Look at there, my brother's awake. I might flip him the... Let me flip him the fingers and see what he says. Arrgh. Is this thing on? Hello? 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 Is this thing on? I don't fucking... Of course, he's going to go, geez, it's 5 in the morning. What the hell is he sending me the video signal for? You know, like the bat signal? The bat phone. We do the video signal. Hey, good morning, Joey. What's going on, little brother? What be going down, clown? All over town. You get into water, don't drown. All right, that was bad. That was bad. Hey, and there's Robbie. There's Robbie. Let me send him. Oop. Howdy. Howdy. There. So listen up, Joey. I'm telling you right now, buddy. I'm tired. Did you Yeah. Hey, good morning. How you doing, brother? Well, I'm live. Live, baby. I'm live. So let's see. Yeah, what was I thinking? I finished up some boop boop. There, but I'm live on YouTube, brother. Yeah. So let's see. What was it that I did yesterday? I know I did something yesterday. I didn't do a damn thing yesterday. I screwed around here on the computer for a little while. And then I took a long 4-hour nap. Man. Oh, you're playing Call of Duty. Oh, man. See, now that's one of those, it's probably like a newer version. I'm used to playing Call of Duty back when it was pretty rudimentary. I'm sure by now it's just crazy. You know, the playing field is like, you never feel like you leave. You just keep going in one direction and you feel like you never bump into a wall, right? There was that one ATV game. I can't remember what it was called. But you'd be riding along in your ATV, just hauling ass in one direction. All of a sudden, boing! You would just like you were on a rubber band, and you would just get yanked back, and you'd just be like, ah! That was crazy. And then there's some games, of course, where you get outside the playing area, and they're like, get back. Time is up. You blew it. You're dead. It's like you're running out of oxygen or something. Totally. Totally. So maybe my brother's afraid I'm going to try to rope him into getting onto YouTube early in the morning. Not going to happen. too early. I don't have the patience to deal with the technology this morning. I'd have to plug in a microphone. That's about the extent of it. I'd have to plug in a microphone and put on my headphones. But I could totally bring him in on the graphics computer here, right? Totally. Gosh, it was something in my head, man, but I don't have enough sleep, so I can't think straight. But then again, you probably know about that stuff there, not sleeping enough. Oh yeah, that's right. I was talking about not the Call of Duty, but the air show. The air show out here at March Air Force Base, April. In April, gosh, that's a little bit away, is there? But yeah, I haven't been there since the early 90s. But I did get to meet Pappy Boyington. So I wish I had that book of my father's that he had Pappy Boyington sign. It was the latest book that he had written. It was called, what was it called? I don't remember. It was a girl's name, I believe. It was. Shoot. Yeah. It was a name. I remember it being a name. Tanya. That's what it was. The book's name was Tanya. By Pappy Boyington. Yeah, see? I still got it. Yeah, there was someone showed up from Manchester, England yesterday on the show and hung out for a little while, and we chatted a little bit. That was weird. I hope he comes back. Of course, I had to annoy him with my stupid British and English and Irish and Australian and European accents and all that crap. So he was, he was probably pretty disturbed. He's like, what the hell is with this guy? He's like, he's got so many people in his head. Oh, yo, governor. He was like, what is going on with this guy? And then, of course, I had to destroy his ears with my small rendition of Manchester, England from the movie Hair. Yeah, that was pretty horrible. I'm going to warm up my coffee, heaten it and sweeten it. Gotta have girlfriends, 'cause I'm mad about girlfriends, but my girlfriend has got to be sweet and hot. She's got to be sweet. She's got to be hot. All right, how long has I been on that screen there? 'Cause that's freaking me out. Yeah. All right, anyway. Yeah. But right. Ah, jeez. Let me get some emojis here. Let me go to my emojis. And let me send my brother some emojis here. Amagees. 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 Oh, jeez. Amagees. Oh, food. That's it. Ah, coffee. Coffee. Oh, coffee. And donuts. Coffee. Where's coffee? I see drinks. Ah, there's coffee. And a donut. There we go. Coffee and a donut. There you go. So I'm just wondering if my brother's going to tune on YouTube and say, what's that? Of course, he's not really technical like me. I don't do this new technical stuff. If you want to talk analog, we can do that. But if you want to talk digital and that stuff, no, man. Oh, I sweetened it. Now I gotta stir it. My wife changed creamers, so I'm trying to adjust to how much I'm supposed to put in this stuff to make it right. Damn eyeball. And sweeten. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Boy. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, animal, these Nazis ain't kosher. You can say that again. I'm telling you, animal, these Nazis ain't kosher. I said you could say that again. That doesn't mean you have to repeat it. All right, that was horrible. But what movie? Come on. Anybody? What movie? Come on. Nobody? I don't know, man. William Holden, Otto Preminger, Peter Graves. Anybody? Anybody? That's right. Stalag 17. Great movie. Great movie. You get a chance, watch it. Stalag 17. Now, if you're someone out there who doesn't watch a lot of movies, come to me if you want to watch a movie. I will let you know what movie to watch. Tell me what kind of mood you're in, what you feel like watching, and I'll give you an old movie to watch. I'm telling you, I will prescribe a movie for you. I think right now, Joey and Jacob, I would prescribe for them Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Yeah, that's what I would prescribe for you. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one there. That's a real good one. That's a fun movie there. Oh yeah. Is he serious? Absolutely. I mean, it's either that or Candle Shoe. Jodie Foster. Good stuff. Let's see, when Joey was here, we watched Over the Edge. And I always love watching that movie, especially with people who've never seen it before. Because it's a hell of a movie. No, really, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I'm telling you guys, you should watch it. I don't remember where to find it. It's either on Prime or Roku or something like that. But it's actually a funny movie. If you like 80s music, dancing, 80s girls, you know. Yeah, one of those feel-good movies. It's cheesy, but it's fun. But Over the Edge, now that one there, that one has such striking similarities to my own pre-teenage youth in there, right? From like 10 to 18, right? Those years in there. We were a pretty rowdy bunch in a pretty rowdy town. We were nice kids, but we could just get into some horrible trouble, or just party down. We usually weren't violent toward people, usually, unless of course it came toward us. But usually we were pretty cool, and we were usually community-minded kids, right? It is kind of weird when you look back to think on how you were as a kid. And we used to help out elderly people and young people and people of all ages, people our own age. You know, we were pretty cool kids. We were shitheads too, but we were pretty cool. Nah, I wouldn't say we were shitheads. We knew a lot of shitheads, but I guess the core group, we were all right. We were an all right bunch of kids. The kids were all right, man. I've been sitting here fiddling with my pipe this morning because I was talking with you yesterday, and you got your new pipe. So I'm gonna pack mine and smoke a bowl out of my pipe because I don't do that too often. And I don't like to smoke too much through it. You don't pack a whole bowl, because then you're stuck with a whole bowl of half-burned marijuana that doesn't taste real great. So I try to only put a few hits in there so that I'm not just killing myself with all of that relighting and re-smoking black charcoal, basically. I like to light it, burn it, and it's gone. That was the one thing I liked about a vaporizer, a good vaporizer, was that you could get what you wanted out of it and leave that brownness, that organic material unburned. But I was afraid of lung infections and pneumonia and that kind of shit, and because I smoke so much, and when you're putting that much, it's kind of like a steam when you're putting that much vapor into your lungs, it can fuck with you. Yeah, as he smokes the black tar shit, right? What are you gonna do? I just stick to what I know. That's it. Just stick to what I know. And I know smoking marijuana, man. Boy, do I know smoking marijuana. I was 12. I'm going back, and I'm going to say I was 12 when I first smoked marijuana. Yeah. I was up with my sister all night late while my parents were gone, and they came back. They came home from being gone all night. And we were wide awake. And they're like, you kids need to go to sleep. So we ate the food that they had brought home with them. And then my mother's like, here, smoke this. I'm like, what? They're like, here, yeah, put this in your mouth and inhale. And I did, because my parents told me to. And I took in a hit and coughed and coughed and coughed. And then I laughed and I laughed and I laughed, and then I passed out. And that was my first experience smoking marijuana. I didn't smoke again for a year or more after that, until I was more like 14. I think I was more like 14. I was in junior high by this point. And my brother and I did it on occasion, because it was like, he had nothing else to do. So he'd like be like, hey man, I got a little weed, do you want to get high? It's like, sure, what the fuck. And then from there, we moved, of course, and I went to another junior high. And by then, my parents had kind of, started to take care of things, which meant that they had a lot of weed. So I was dipping into their weed to roll joints to take to school to sell to my fellow students, to make my lunch money. And I did. And that's when I started smoking again at about 15, about 15, I think, in the 8th grade. I started smoking probably more than a couple of times a week. Usually once a day, but not always. And then by the time I was in 9th grade in high school, I was smoking every day, looking for any reason to get high, really. And yeah, while I was 15, I believe, and in high school, in the 9th grade, that's when I had the falling out with my mother, and I hit the road, Jack. And then I was on my own to find a buzz, right? Usually I could just depend on my parents having weed, and I could just smoke with them or take some of their weed and get high. But when I left the house, I was on my own. And I had friends that got high and stuff, but getting high wasn't as important to them as it had become to me in the short amount of time that I had been smoking. Because between 8th grade and 9th grade, that summer I realized that Red Bull gives you wings. Marijuana gave me balls, right? And courage and freedom. And so yeah, by the 9th grade, I wanted to get high every day, because I knew if I did, I could totally handle trying my best to fit in the world, right? And I would just crawl back into that depression. And it was really hard to stay away from that depression, knowing full well that your home life sucked and you didn't want to go back. It was pretty weird. Pretty weird. I slept on floors, couches, spare bedrooms, garages, in people's trailers, campers, outside, under trees, wherever I could find a place to go to sleep, and I didn't have to go home. I was there. And I wouldn't go home for days, weeks, months. And then I would go home, and I'd go home and I would hang around for a little bit and gather up as many things as I could and resources, and then I'd fucking hit the road again. Yeah, nobody cared if I came and went. Nobody came looking for me. I didn't really have a reason to stay, and they weren't going out of their way to give me a reason to stay. So I was like, you know what, I'm adios. I never said, hey, fuck you, I ain't never coming back. I would just take off. Okay, I'm out of here. Bye. When are you coming back? I don't know. Bye. They didn't seem to give a shit, so I didn't give a shit. And that's the way it was. And that was one of those periods where I started to feel like, what the hell is going on? Who are these people? And why do they call themselves my parents, but they do really nothing to act like parents? Where's the parentage here? And that was one of those periods where I was like really confused as to who the fuck am I? All of us kids were pretty much in and out of the house whenever we wanted, My brother and sister were out of the house first. My sister, 2 years younger than me, and she was living with friends. We would make friends just to get out of the house, just to have another place to go to. It was horrible. I was lucky to have a lot of really good people in my life to help keep me out of trouble. because I would have gotten into it had I been homeless. It would have been really ugly. I could have gotten into some serious shit.
You heard of a jackrabbit? How about a crack rabbit?
Crack Rabbit Slim.
Yeah, baby.
That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm fucking saying. Yeah, I got the out in my storage unit. I actually went out there, turned on a heater, got it warm and toasty out there because it's been cold lately, and organized stuff so well that I freed up 3 big shelves in my storage unit. So now I can take a bunch of stuff that I have in my house here under this bed that's going to go, and get it out of here, get it into storage, and get it organized with the rest of the stuff. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up one shelf with 8 tracks, because I've got so many 8 tracks in here. I need to make another shelf. I've already got one giant shelf with just a big giant cube of 8 tracks stacked together. So while I'm not going to empty this drawer because they're safe in there, I'm not going to, well, I'll probably take out some of these, what do you call them, little cases, carrying cases for the 8 tracks. I've got a bunch under the bed and a whole box, and I've got just scattered 8 tracks. I think it'd probably be best if I just put them all into one spot, and then when that day comes that I can start bringing them in and going through them and repairing them and refurbishing them, it'll all be in one spot. I need to get the repair toolkit. I've got 2 boxes, 2 little toolboxes with stuff in them to repair 8 tracks. The little foam pads, the little sticky foam pads that go on the little springy foam dealies. I've got splicing tape and lubricant and a whole bunch of other stuff that goes into dealing with an 8-track. I do need to find some screws. When you're taking 8 tracks apart, sometimes you can just hold the 8-track and pop some little tabs and it just opens right up, right? Sometimes you really have to force these fuckers open. Sometimes you have to screw screws down into the holes to push those tabs through because there's just no other way to do it, right? So, yeah, so I'm going to be digging up some of those little screws to put in the kit, and go through and make sure my kit is ready to work on 8 tracks, and then do a couple to refresh myself on how they're done and make sure that I do indeed have everything I need. I didn't forget to order something. And then at some point I'll be doing an episode of Throwback Thursday where I will be actually working on 8-track tapes. But man, I've got a lot of stuff in here, and I'm just excited that I got those 3 shelves out there, because that's hard to do out there. There's so much stuff. I really had to condense things down, shuffle things, but I did free up a lot of space. So I'm real excited about that. I got a few things that I need to take and get rid of. I found some E-rat crap that's still there. So I need to take that crap and deal with it and dump it or whatever I'm going to fucking do with his crap. And then I also found some stuff that I can give to some of the local homeless population. So actually I have a sleeping bag out there that's small. It's rated for small women. So I'm trying to figure out, I don't know any small women out here that are homeless or any very small guys either. So I'm probably just going to wash that, bag it up, and stick it with the camping stuff, stick it out in my van, and put the air mattress and extra bedding and pillows and stuff, just put it out in my van. Because that's always good to have in a van, because you never know, right? You never know. Well, I got my Indian Maiden pipe here, and I'm going to spark it up. Oh, yeah. Well, I forgot how good that was. Well, good morning to whoever else just popped in. Good morning, good morning. I just packed a bowl in my Indian Maiden pipe. Haven't used it in a while, but since Joey said that he bought a pipe the other day, I thought, well, I'll play with this one. I'm kind of hoping it's Carl coming back to say hi. That'd be cool. I don't get too many visitors from the other side of the planet there. I used to get some visitors from Brunei and Ireland, Canada. But, yeah, knowing people are watching in other parts of the world is pretty weird. It's pretty weird stuff that YouTube is popping me out there on other people's feeds. That's weird. That's just weird stuff. You know, it's one thing to be sitting here in your home recording stuff that you know people will probably never look at, and you're just recording it and then just kind of archiving it. But I'm kind of doing the same thing. But there's always potential for somebody to be watching. You know, there's always that little potential, which makes this kind of weird for an old guy, you know, because I'm used to camcorders and tapes, and then you might do something cool on a tape and then share it with a friend and say, hey, you got to look at this, man, and then maybe have a bunch of people look at it. But that's about it. That was 1980s thinking. And now I can record something and put it here, and it has the potential to be seen by a lot of people. Of course, it would never will be. I ain't that fun. I ain't that exciting. I ain't that popular. Ain't. But it's cool, because I don't have to have that, you know, that fear of, oh my gosh, I need to have all of this shit going on because there's like so many people watching, and oh shit, you know, it's like, oh my god, like no way. Gag me with a fork. Yeah. So when I hopefully, fingers crossed, that everything works out and I come back in the spring with gusto, during my time off, I'm going to be working on a lot of this computer stuff and graphics and videos and intros and outros and commercials and all kinds of weird kooky shit. And if you get a chance, check out next week's Dimension X videos, because I just did one, and with the new setup, the enhanced dimensional time travel device, the screen for Dimension X looks really cool, and it's a lot of fun to just sit and watch the screen. You'll have to watch the video, listen to the radio show a couple of times, just so that you see what's going on in every part of the screen, because there are 4 actual moving elements during the video, and it's just supposed to be a still picture like, you know, some of the other ones. But it's really cool. I had a lot of fun last night creating the videos to put into the video. So videos within videos. And if you've seen some of the Dimension X already, it's got one video playing on an old television, right, in the picture. And so I put more on that television. And at some point, I might sneak in some Felix the Cat, some Betty Boop. There's a little message readout thing there on this on the page, the screen, and I left time on that so that I could sneak in and type little messages that people may or may not notice, right? So I'm gonna rattle my brain and dig up some quotes to put in there, either quotes from science fiction books, authors, people, my own quotes, whatever. That'll be a lot of fun to start fiddling with that. I've only got 45 episodes, and I just did episode 12, I think. Which means I've only got, 30-some episodes left to play with this, Destination Moon. So I've only got 30-something episodes left to play with this graphic and these videos and do all this. Because once I do this, I'll be moving on to another video of some kind of anthology science fiction series on the radio. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm already doing Escape as a weekly. There's a lot of Escape episodes, but I want to use something that I can use daily. And something that's science fiction in nature. Science fiction nature? That's an oxymoron. You don't call me a moron, man. Listen, he's fighting with himself again. Leave him alone, Harry. At least he has emotions. Dude, she bagged you up, man. Shut up, punk. Yeah, I was watching the news. And then when I realized I was watching the news, I fucking turned it off quick. I said, no, don't do it. Yeah, I don't like to watch the news. I don't. My wife watches the news. We used to watch the news together. And God, that was probably 10 or 15 years ago, the last time we used to sit, and on a regular, every day, used to sit and watch the evening news together. And I just got so, I realized that it was a part of that, it was a part of me that was always frustrated. It was always angry and upset and confused, right? I stopped watching the news, and I stopped listening to the bullshit. And then when you stop for a long time and you observe it rather than watch it, and you observe from day to day what they're doing with the news, and the one thing that I found that was really, really upsetting was that when you were watching the news program, the commercials and the news were tied together so that at the end you were left with some kind of message had been implanted into you, right? You need to worry about this, and they focus everything on that. So by the end of the news broadcast, they would throw something out at you that is exactly what they were trying to pull over on you. Sometimes you'll be watching a news broadcast, and then the commercials will have something to do with what's in the news, and then after that there'll be a special news program, 20, 60 minutes. One of those weird, let's fix the world programs, and they never do. And then you notice that they all start to tie together. Did I sound Canadian there for a second? Shh, don't tell anybody. I'm a Canadian transplant. Yeah, that's it, eh? I came about in the 70s. Actually, I had a friend in the late 70s, 79, I believe, in Temecula. He was a kid that showed up out of the blue, new kid in school. So I took to him real quick. It's like, oh, there's a new kid. And so when he came and talked to me, I was really friendly. But he was Canadian. He talked a little bit different. He looked a little bit different. He dressed way different. And so it was real easy for he and I to get along because I was very, very different. Long, matted hair, chubby, unkempt, dirty clothes, dirty face, most of the time. And I just remember I thought it was cool that he talked different, right? He probably thought it was cool that I looked different. But I didn't. I didn't think anything was cool back then. No siree. That's a nice pipe. Oh, I've got to get pipe cleaners. Totally. Now this thing here, this arm here, this mouthpiece, I can heat this thing up really good and then unscrew this. And then I don't know that I can put it in alcohol, but I can at least run hot water through it, hot soapy water, and then ram a pipe cleaner through it. I can't really soak this bowl here because of the white. I can't put it in water. I can't boil it or put it in alcohol or anything because it'll discolor it. It'll screw it up. So the only thing I can really do is ram a pipe cleaner through it, you know. And because of the bends in these things, it has to be those flexible pipe cleaners we used to use in school to make things, make spiders. Wow, I just flashed back to the first or second grade, probably the second grade, in Lake Elsinore, Joy Street, Machado Avenue Elementary School. There was a lot of making stuff in that class. We did a lot of making things. We did a lot of learning how to read and write and do, you know, rudimentary math and that kind of stuff. Wow, I just flashed on a dream I had last night. It was a quick part of a dream where I had to take 4 tests, and one of the tests was math. And for some reason I was like, oh, that's because it was like basic math and something else. I was like, oh, basic math, I'm going to be able to nail that. That's great. I've done that like 4 times in high school, right? But so Machado Avenue Elementary School, second grade, Mrs. Brown, Ms. or Mrs. Brown, brick building, red brick building, windows up high, right? Those windows up high on the walls, so there's plenty of wall space in there, and the children aren't distracted by what's going on outside. There was usually 1 or 2 windows on the classroom wall that faced outwards where the front door was. I believe there was 2 doors, one at either end of the classroom, and windows on the doors and maybe a window next to each door. I think that was about it. Really tall inside. It was like normal height of a interior plus another half. I mean, it was really tall in there. So it had, you know, really high vaulted ceilings and, you know, track fluorescent lighting. It was a school that had been built in the, I'm going to say 60s or 70s, probably early 70s. maybe even the 60s. But it was a great old building. I've got some great photos of us at that school. Halloween. We spent a Halloween at that school. I'm going to say this was about 75 or 76, maybe both. But we made a lot of stuff. I think that was my point, is we made a lot of early arts and crafts crap in that class, which is probably where I first used a pipe cleaner for something other than cleaning my parents' pipes, right? Who else's kids were given things to do by their parents that, looking back, seemed a little hanky, right? Like back when I was a little kid, I'm going to say 5 years old, we lived in Sierra Madre Canyon, and my parents sold marijuana, right? They would drive down to Mexico in their friend's motorhome and bring back just tons of stuff packed into every conceivable place in these motorhomes. And he'd have his family with him, so it was real easy to do this and get away with it. Who's going to, it's just a family. They're just tourists. They go through all the time. They're tourists. And apparently we would get away with it. And so we would have one entire wall in our cabin in the canyon had a curtain over it, and you'd open up that curtain and it was just kilo bricks, 2.2 pound bricks of marijuana stacked floor to ceiling against a wall, and then a curtain drawn in front of it to hide that. And it was just like hidden in plain sight, right? It was ridiculously stupid. But they used to give us a drawer, like a bureau drawer, right? They'd give you a big, giant, full-size dresser drawer, and we'd put a block in there of marijuana and open it up, break it up, and basically you keep pulling it apart. Sometimes you would have to steam it a little bit to fluff it back up a little bit, because it was like too dry, right? Compressed. I think they used garbage compactors to squash bricks down, right? I think that was one of the standard things, is just to put it all into a bag and then put it into a garbage compactor and squash it down. Pull out a brick, wrap it up. So one of our jobs was to sit and break up kilos of marijuana in drawers, and pull out big chunks of stems and shit. Yeah. Those were the days. Memories. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, I had a little bit different childhood than most kids. It was different. I'm sure there's a lot of kids out there who could say there was gunfire in our neighborhoods, right? Sure. That's probably a regular thing in a lot of inner city neighborhoods where, oh yeah, we hear gunfire all the time, right? That wasn't really standard for us, but what was standard was for us as a family to be put in harm's way like that on a regular basis, right? It's like there's no gunfire in our neighborhood because we live up in a canyon somewhere. We live, and it was like, so let's go find some. There's none up here, so let's go find some trouble. Basically, that's kind of what it felt like. There's absolutely no trouble up in the canyon. It's a beautiful, loving, warm, fuzzy place, and we left it because we were just like in search of adventure. That's, as a little kid, that's kind of the way it feels, And after the whole, 1973 and the Wounded Knee fiasco thing, we were just always moving from then on, you know. Moving. But, you know, sometimes we were in places where there was gunshots, South Dakota, Nebraska, you know, and you're just, you know, they're just trying to do the reporting angle thing. They're just trying to gather conversations with people there during the AIM elections, right? And they're getting shot at by Dickie Wilson's goon squads, right? And run out of town on a rail because they don't want no whites in there messing with them engines, because you don't want smart engines. They might know what to do with what they got, right? And it was crazy, man. It was fucking crazy. So, having been involved in a tiny part just trying to get information, we were put on a list and fucked with for a decade or more. And I just had to keep moving, you know, and that was fucked up. Which is why I spent, you know, so many years moving around and in so many different schools. I don't remember where else we went to school that year. We went to a different school every year for 10 years. Sometimes it was a couple of different schools in a school year. I think 4 was the big count. 4 schools in 1 year. Because when your parents your dad gets a job somewhere, and he gets a call to his boss, and his boss wants to know why the FBI is calling him and asking him about, why is the FBI calling and asking me about you? Huh? Get out of here. I don't want the FBI calling me. I don't care what it was. Yep. There we go. It unscrews. And that's not so bad. Could be worse. I'm going to have to get some pipe cleaners, and hopefully it'll work. Very cool. Very cool, dude. That's totally cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, man, yeah. How you do, man? Wow, Throwback Thursday, man. That's some heavy shit. That is some heavy stuff. Because now I'm flashing back to Spaceland Arcade. And, it always sounded like MTV in there, and it sounded like MTV and Tempest. That was the sounds that I remember, you know. MTV blasting all the time in the store, and that Tempest demo running constantly. Or somebody playing it, or me playing it. I love Tempest. Yeah. There were no windows in the Spaceland Arcade that I remember. Was in Lake Elsinore, in Lakeland Village, on Grand Avenue, right next to Circle K. Baldwin and Brightman and Grand Avenue, and it was just this rectangular building, blacked out windows and a door on the front, and it was just filled with machines, right? Machines along the walls, machines down the middle, and TVs, a couple of TVs with MTV blasting. And I could have lived in there. I could have lived and died in there. It was just so. When we would go down there, it was like I just wanted to hang out in there, listen to the video games, not even play, and listen to the music, and just fucking soak it in, right? And the only times I wanted to leave was if somebody had some weed and we was going to go out and get high, right? That was it. That was Spaceland Arcade. Yeah, one of those warm, fuzzy places. Ha! Cheers to Spaceland Arcade. Your shirt's coming. That is not hot. I'll be back in a flash. I'm going to heat this up. Whew. All right. So, what did we have for dinner last night? I'll remember. Give me a minute. This is hard for me, okay? I've got horrible short-term memory. I know it was chicken. She had me pull out chicken last night. Chicken. I'm drawing a blank here. I know it was chicken. Oh, okay. It was macaroni and cheese and grilled chicken. That was it. It was homemade macaroni and cheese with cheddar and a little Velveeta squeezed in and some milk, a little salt and pepper, a little macaroni, and that's it. And then so the chicken, she chopped it up real fine, and then we could just take a scoop of chicken and throw it into the macaroni and cheese and mix it up. Just easy, one plate, one scoop meal. Good stuff, good stuff. Oh man, it was really good. And then I had milk and cookies afterwards, because she bought fresh milk for me. So I have to try to drink the milk within the first couple of days of it being opened. Otherwise, after it's been open a couple of days and in use, I cannot look at it. But fresh milk, I love it. Okay, people. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. We're 36, less than 36 hours from the beginning of the event. Who's going to be watching that whole Paul Tyson fight thing? I just found out about it like a week ago. I'm just not into watching. I do a lot in YouTube, which is probably why I don't watch much YouTube, because I'm too busy throwing garbage onto YouTube, right? So I have no idea who this Jake Paul guy was. I have no idea that there was this thing that was supposed to have been going on and got canceled and then started up again. I had no clue. Completely in the dark about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fighting. So I've got Netflix, so of course I watched that documentary, 3-part documentary. I just finished it last night. So now I know kind of who Jake Paul is. I don't need to watch any more There's another documentary on Jake Paul, probably produced by him, right? As this other one probably was backdoor produced by Jake Paul, so he could pat himself on the back. He says he's a nice guy. He's just another douchebag with a lot of money. That's it, you know. And you can tell by the way he acts and what he does and what he has that he's, you know, oh yeah, I give money to a gym so you can produce more douchebags like you. So, not that all people that go to a gym are douchebags. Don't put words in my mouth. Don't fuck with me like that. But he's definitely one of those. I can, you know, he just did I just watched a 3-part documentary on him and his douchery. He claims to be so respectful, and he's such a disrespectful douche. So, one of those people that talks out of both sides of their mouths. Is that what the expression is? So I do that every day. Shut the fuck up. I'm excited to see this fight just because I haven't seen a good fight, and I don't know that this is going to be good, but the whole premise of this young guy taking on this old guy, and this old guy saying, bring it on, bitch. I'll flatten your ass. It's non-sanctioned, right? Which means that it's just a exhibition, right? They're not fighting for a belt. They're just fighting for prestige. They're just bragging rights. That's all this is, and a lot of money. I'm sure that Jake Paul is throwing a lot of money at Mike Tyson to get him to do this, and Tyson's going to give it his all. I saw the documentary showed a lot of Tyson working out, and he's slowed down a little bit because he's just big and old, right? But if you look at how Jake Paul lumbers around the stage 2, he's kind of grown into this man body. Right? He's a boy in a man body, and he built this man body around him, probably with a lot of help, if you know what I mean. And I don't know that he's got the drive. I think that he thinks that if he pays enough, he's going to be able to get this done, right? He's going to pay the right people to make this happen, i.e. trainers and coaches and Tyson and all of this. And if he just keeps throwing money at it and keeps throwing his face at it, that it's going to get done. And, I mean, it's pretty disrespectful to say that Cinnabons fed these arms and Cinnabons are going to beat Mike Tyson. It's like, come on, dude. That's just stupid, you know? He's just a showboater, you know? And I'm not one to say, man, I hope this dude just gets killed. But I hope Tyson does chew his ears off, man. Both of them. And break him down. Come out and give him that Iron Tyson uppercut and just flatten him. You know, because I think if Mike Tyson can take him out with his powerful hits within the first couple of rounds, he's going to take the fight and he's going to knock this dude out. That being said, if he doesn't, he may have to deal with this dude toe to toe. And this guy can punch. He's no girly man. He's a hitter, right? I don't know. I think if Mike Tyson gets hit too many times in the face, he might lose teeth or break a jaw because he's old. I'm old. I'm 2 years younger than him, and I would never do anything like this in a million years. Well, I'd never done it before, but no way. Not even in his kind of condition would I do that, because there's too much to risk physically. I think there's too much to risk financially if Mike Tyson doesn't do this. I think he's got no choice at this point. You can only make so much money off of being Mike Tyson after you haven't fought for, how many years has it been? 20 years at least. So, come on. There's a big risk, but I'm gonna watch. I got my alarm set on my phone, and I'll be pumped up. I am probably gonna sit in bed and watch it on the big giant screen, unless we move that giant screen out here. And there's supposed to be a fight before that, a rematch. A New Jersey girl and an Irish girl, I believe. So that should be interesting. Yeah. It's entertainment. That's all it is. Whether it's real or not, I guess we're going to see once they get in the ring. But right now, it just seems like this is just entertainment. What a way for Netflix to get into live sporting, right? You never know. This might be the start of something. And you know, maybe this is just something to set up something else, right? Maybe this is just to point the fingers at Netflix and say, look, we can do this live boxing stuff, this live fight night shit, right? We can do this. And then maybe it's douchebag here is footing the bill to start working with Netflix to create some kind of live MMA boxing machine, right? Who knows? You never know. You never frickin' know. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Yep. Yeah, I'm just remembering back to the Mike Tyson Holyfield fight where he chewed on his ear and that whole thing, and oh man, the blood and the anger, and when they've just called it off and said, you know what, that's it, you lose, man, you can't do that in the ring, right? And disqualified and booted from the whole system, man. He was just like, but he's also gotten into a little trouble, been to prison, and didn't he? They didn't talk about it in the documentary. They probably weren't allowed to talk about it in the documentary. They showed pictures of him being arrested and going to prison for a few things. But didn't he get in trouble for abusing Robin Givens? Wasn't he dating her? I think that was her name. Is that the girl? I don't want to look into it. But it was something like that. He was accused of rape or something and had to go to prison, and or got off, or I don't remember exactly what happened. Maybe somebody can come along and tell me what the hell happened. But he was in some pretty heavy fights, and the fact that he had so many fights where it was just a knockout before he was finally knocked down and knocked out and shit. But both these dudes have been knocked down. They both have been knocked out, staggered out of the ring. So, young guy or old guy, new guy or veteran, experience or piss and vinegar. I mean, what's going to take it, I would have to say that because I'm old and I know Tyson from his past, I'm going to have to go with Tyson, right? But that being said, he's going to have to do it quick. If he doesn't do it quick, this dude might get the drop on him. He might get the drop on him right away. They might come out and start swinging at each other and not stop until one of them goes down. And I'm kind of hoping it's like that. I'm kind of hoping it's wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And they get out there and they swing at each other till the cows come home and somebody just has the right connection and takes somebody down. I hope it's Tyson who does the knocking down. Like I said, mainly because I'm an old guy and Tyson's like only 2 years older than me. He's my brother's age. And I know you got a lot left at that age. I don't, but I know that a lot of people have a lot of tank, a lot of gas left in the tank at that age. And from what I saw about Tyson training, I think he's got this. Right? I think he's got some guys around him that in the beginning of the documentary were really blowing a lot of smoke up his ass. Right? But I think he's got guys with him now, and the guys that are with him are serious about this, as serious as he is. It takes a lot for us old guys to get up and do serious shit like that. And you can see that he never really lost it physically. You could see that he's always kept himself physically fit since his fighting days. You can see that he still works out and he still runs and he's still got it together. Yeah, he smokes pot, and he parties, but you could also see that he's put it on hold for this, and he's really serious about eating this guy's face, And I hope he does. I hope Tyson gets some serious face. I hope he just snarfs this guy's whole face down and just takes the fight. Just like that. Just comes out and then just fucking like a machine just gives him that fucking upper and just takes him down. Because I don't want to see any showboating. I don't want to see any bullshit. I don't want to see this dude doing, I just want to see Tyson come out. Because Tyson won't showboat. Tyson's not like that. He's not going to come out and dance around and try to get everybody pumped up and get them to, come out and do a rap or something. That's not Tyson. Tyson is going to come out ready to eat face. And if this guy doesn't have his game together and he ain't serious, then he's in trouble. Let me answer this message. It's time to start posting photos, yes. I've got 10 more shirt designs working. Get a load of that. Totally. Message from one of the old gang. One of the old gang. This is the old philosopher saying. Yeah, it's really cool. Let me go ahead and Alright, I think that's... Yeah. Yeah, where the hell was I? Ugh. Oh, man. I think I was going to heat up my coffee. That'll help. Yeah, I'm real excited. Real excited about shirts. Shirts. Okay, so look, I'm going to work on shirts today. I am going to, I guess, keep working on those videos for next week because those are kind of time-consuming. I got to work on this whole room over here and get that ready to turn into my new studio so that I can free up my living room here. Bad lighting. So I can, oh, nice. So I can free up this living room again, put a little mini sofa in here. Yeah. So that's cool. I just got to smoke more weed because, you know, I don't know. Tyson. I got Tyson anywhere between 1 and 3 rounds. He already said 5 million if Tyson takes him in before the 5th round, right? An extra 5 million. So he's footing the bill for all this. Little rich boy is just throwing down the cash because that's what rich boys do nowadays. Is they just show how rich they are. And it's quite sad. It's what's really sad is if this guy totally blows it with his rich boy attitude, he could wind up living in the gutter, right? Which would be totally poetic justice and hilarious. You know, like those lottery winners who just spend everything and then get divorced and everybody leaves them with all their money and they're just left penniless, you know, holding the bag on a bunch of bills and have to start selling shit off. Yeah, that's sad, right? I mean, if I won the lottery, I'd probably give most of it away, but it wouldn't be directly, right? Somebody needs a house, don't give them the money for a house, buy the frickin' house, you know, and then let them stay in it, you know, and then at some point when you realize they're worthy enough, then they can have the house, you know, but you can't just go giving shit to people because then they expect it. He's like, well, how come you didn't give me a better house, motherfucker? Well, you couldn't have given me the better model. Come on, man, you're my 4th cousin removed. You owe me, bro. Right? Totally. I'm so totally excited. People are starting to get shirts. 3 shirts have been delivered so far. Well, that I know of. Fun on a bun. So, yeah. It took long enough to get them out there, right? And it did. It took quite a while to get those shirts working, but now I think that I've got a better chance of getting the next batch of shirts rolling in half that time, and then I'm hoping that I can cut that time in half again and keep it that way the rest of the run, so that we'll be putting out a shirt, a new pair of shirts every 2 weeks. So at this point, I'm hoping that within a month of people getting shirts, that we will get orders back and be able to get more shirts out within a month, right? So we're going to try to do a 4-week turnaround this time, and then try to do a 2-week turnaround next time. I am going to post photos of the shirts and counts on how many sizes we have left, how many pairs of what size we have left. And so that way the people who are gathering donations know that any other shirts, what other designs and whatever other sizes of that particular order, the two current shirts, make sure that they know that this is how many there are, and anything after that we're going to have to special make. Everything is special order at this point. At some point we're going to get to where we have a surplus of shirts, but until then everything is made to order. We got to pay down that shirt bill. Got to pay that shirt bill. So I'm trying to avoid going to the shirt place to harass them until I can go in with a boatload of money. That's basically it. If I can go in with enough money to pay off the shirts and have them all produced, then I can say, okay, great, let's make the two next screens and I'll get shirts. And then I'll order up a shitload of shirts and have them printed. Oh yeah, baby. I was just going through my shirt files and organizing all of the components and elements for each particular shirt design, graphics and photos and whatnot. And I've just had more shirt ideas popping through my fucking head. It's the shirt possibilities for vintage retro hometown t-shirts are just fucking beyond belief. There are so many cool shirts to make, right? That every time I come up with an idea, it's like, oh man, are you kidding me? This is going to make a beautiful shirt. So yeah, so I need to sit down on and do shirt day, and I need to sit and write out the whole list of shirts that we're going to make, because it's growing and growing and growing. And then make sure to create files for all of that, and then start with the graphics. Most of the graphics I create from scratch. Some of them I use vintage graphics, and then some I reproduce vintage graphics. So yeah. Oh, God, there's another one. I've got to write stuff down before I forget it. Yeah. Just too much fun. 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 I love playing with shirts. Huh. Ha. Ha. There's a Native American film here that I didn't see when I was moving stuff around. It's probably mistitled. Probably, JVX2374YXZ or something shit. I hate it when they do that. So I've got to go look through all of the ones and, what's this? And then retitle, rename the file. Yep. Yippers. But I've been putting together a lot of elements for Thanksgiving week, which is coming up pretty quick. I mean, I've either got to go in for that dental procedure or put it off again because of the insurance situation. So I haven't gotten any word back in the mail. So I guess I should call tomorrow if I don't get anything in the mail. I'm assuming that my insurance is canceled because our income has fluctuated too much. But and if that's the case, then I'm going to try to set this up for cash and just try to deal with it ASAP. Even if I get buy dentures on Amazon or some other fucking third-party place just to get teeth in my mouth so that I can just move the fuck on. Just let me move on. I want 2 sets. I want a normal set, and then I want a set of vampire teeth. With fangs. Can I do that? I want that. Nowadays, fuck yeah, you can do anything. Shit. Why the fuck not? Yep. Too much. It's Thursday. I don't think I've got anybody in the house waking up until 8 or later, really. I don't think there's anything going on today. It's one of those vegetable days. What do we got? Oh, it's bright and clear outside. And if the missus is going to be around today, it looks like we're going to do some cleaning and organizing. Inside and out. I've got room in the shed to move stuff from the house out, and I've got room in the trailer to move stuff from the outside in to get it out of the rain. Yep. So that's got to happen today. We got to get that yard winterized. Yeah, we get a late winter, of course, so we're lucky. Wow, people are getting shirts. People are getting excited. Ha. That means she saw the order form, which is great. That's great. She did a double donation, of course, so she's got more shirts coming later down the road. I keep keeping track of everybody who donates and how much they spend, how much they donate, what shirts they've already gotten, what shirts they're going to want to get later, everything. So I'm keeping track. I'm trying to do this like a business. Mainly because I want to show how important it all is, and I can show how much it means to me by being as professional as possible with it. Yeah. So my brother's got his shirts. He's going to wear them this weekend when he goes fishing and try and catch a fish and hold a fish. He's got his Catfish Corner shirt on. That's great. The people in California, I don't know why the local people haven't gotten them yet. I guess because it's going ground, and it's got to go through so many freaking hubs to get there. The further away it is, the fewer hubs it's got to go through. It just gets on a truck and goes, right? Goes all the way there, gets to a hub, and gets delivered. When it's really close, I guess it gets bounced all over the fucking place. I don't want to be responsible for checking tracking numbers, which is why I give tracking numbers to people. Here's your tracking number. You can keep track of it and know exactly when it's coming, know when to expect it, and all of that. Because I can't even do that for myself when I order something. I never know when it's going to get here. Yep. So other people should be getting their shirts today. This is Wednesday, right? Is it Wednesday? Was it Thursday? Fuck, I don't know. I think yesterday was... Yeah, it is Thursday. Whew, man, so I lost it again. I thought I lost a day. So yeah, Thursday. Wow. Yep. People should be getting their shirts by the end of the week. I'm hoping that by Saturday everybody has their shirts, all 8 packets that went out. That'll mean 9 people getting shirts. Man, oh man, I can't wait. The fun part is going to be when I've got more colors and more designs, and it kind of, you know, blossoms. I hope that by doing the donation forms and packets, that it's gonna bring in enough to pay off these shirts and to generate more shirts, right? Please, if we can just get enough orders in. That would mean so much. Because this reunion, as much as people say they want to go and how they're excited about it, it's only going to work if people stay involved and keep trying to get others involved and help with the donations. That's key. We can't pull it off without money. And once the money reaches a certain level and we have an actual budget, then it's going to get fucking real, right? Shirts are one thing, but when we can say, yes, we have a house, and yes, we have a band, and this and that, then it's going to be so fucking real. Everything's planned, everything's ready, but we still have to pay for everything. We still have to secure everything. Gotta have money for that. Gotta have the cash. Man, this gets cold quick. Okay, well, I'm gonna sit down. So if you wanna go out, you gotta let me know. All right, I'm sitting down. Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, crazy old weird bearded guy. That's me, and I am feeling it. I am feeling crazy and old and weird and bearded, and there's some sun for you. Yeah, baby. Reflections. I won't have any reflections over in that corner over there. It'll be quieter. It will be, well, it'll be more cozy. I'm going to try to dress it up so that so it kind of has this feel. I won't have I won't have anything behind me, really. I'm going to have a couple of green walls behind me, and I may have some pictures and posters hanging up. I may at some point put up a shelf, but it's a corner, so I really can't do too much. But then again, I'm not going to be doing much live anyway, at least not for a while. So while I may end this season over in that little place over there, I may do this over a weekend and then finish off the season over in that little corner. I'm going to be off for at least 6 weeks. I'm going to say at least 6 weeks. I'm probably going to be more like 2 to 6 months. I'm hoping it's not that long. I'd like to be back at around the first of the year, somewhere in the first month. There's a concert I'd like to go to. I'd like to go see Firefall in the first of the year. So there's that. In fact, I've got to get my daughter to look at that, look for tickets to Firefall, and see if she can get us, tickets to go see another of my favorite bands. I'm sure she's going to love it. She and I have the same tastes in music. But I don't want to be away from this for too long. It's not healthy. This has been my savior for depression. Oh. I'm just getting a really bad pain back here right now. Came out of nowhere. I'm not used to that one. Yeah. I just need to get these teeth dealt with. Muy importante. So, it's probably going to be something through the mail. I'm probably going to have all of my teeth extracted and then go down and get fitted for dentures. That's going to take forever to get. And then I'll probably come home and do a home kit and send out for teeth that should get here in less than half that time, so that I can at least start functioning, and then have the choice between, okay, look, these teeth are better than these teeth. I'm going to wear these, and these will be my backup teeth or whatever. Mom, we don't need to, we don't need to bug Mom. Hi, Bessie. You want to go outside? Oh, I told you to do this before I sat down. Okay. Gonna go outside? What do you want to do? Huh? What do you want to do? Okay. Doors are open. Dogs are going in and out. Yeah, I need to do a doggy door situation, man. I keep saying that, but I just need to... I got enough wood and materials and stuff to make a doggy door. I think I've even got an extra yoga mat around for flaps. Yeah. I just need to draw something up, get an idea of what materials I'm going to use, and then go out and build it. Pop the doors off, cut the holes, frame them in, put on my flaps, and move on, right? Yeah, I can see it already in my head. So that should be easy to take care of. That should be my next project, doggy doors. And then go out and buy a real doggy door, the big size, and have that one mounted on our back door so Big Dog can take herself out whenever she wants. When that thing is open, she can do whatever she wants. I think that's going to help. Yeah. Yeah. I'll custom design the interior door ones so that they can be low enough for little Tootsie and her tiny little legs, but tall enough for Sam to go through. Both of them without having to do too much jumping. Sam will be able to step through. Tootsie will have to do a little bit of a hop because she don't like to step on things. She likes to hop through. She likes to hop upstairs. She don't like to climb. She likes to hop. She'll hop, 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 and then hop over the last step. Every time. So, yeah, I'll make it nice and low for her so she can just walk through, but nice and tall so that the other guys don't have to squash down to get through. So I'll measure the dogs and then design something. I'll have to do that this week or this weekend or something, depending on what the schedule is. We are going to the Spaghetti Western this Saturday. Our friend David is playing a set there Saturday night, and the last time that he played there on a Saturday night, we were going to see ELO, I think, and then we were out of town in Vegas during his award. He got an award. So we missed that. We missed a couple of his latest shows. He's so annoying. He's so indecisive. He just cannot figure out what he wants to do. Okay. Lort. L-O-R-T. Lort. Let's see. It's almost 7. Almost 7 in the a.m. on the Pacific coast of California here. Not the Pacific coast to China. I don't know what the Chinese call the Pacific coast, right? They probably don't call it the Pacific Ocean. I'm just figuring. I'm going to assume that the names that Anglos have created for most of this stuff doesn't fly with a lot of these other countries, right? So what did the Japanese call the Pacific Ocean, right? What do the Chinese call the Pacific Ocean? I'm going to assume it's pretty similar from the bottom of South America to the top of North America. I'm going to assume that it's probably the same. We all probably call it the same things, only slightly different in Espanol and Portuguese and that stuff. Come on. But I'm going to assume that on the other side of the world, it's probably going to be different for the most part, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I need to write up a schedule and give one specific day of the week to shirts. Right? It needs to be shirt day. The least busy day of the week so that I guarantee I have time to work on shirts, and I should be cranking out every week. I should be cranking out a finished graphic for the screen printer every week, so that twice a month we're getting 2 new shirts printed. Right? I think I have the next 2 graphics. I just have to blacken them so that they work to create screens, which means pretty much I have to recreate them in black. Otherwise, if I change them from white to black, I've got to go through and straighten a bunch of shit up because it gets fuzzy around the edges. So I'll go through, recreate them, save everything out. And I'm excited about doing stuff for the surrounding areas as well. I'm going to be doing shirts for Temecula, Murietta, Paris, Hemet, Idlewild, San Jacinto, maybe even San Juan Capistrano, because I can, old defunct businesses. That's going to be fun. Stuff that's like, what the hell is that? I haven't heard of that in forever. What would be a good... That wasn't a seed, was it? I hope not. Throwback Thursday. Is this a good day to work on t-shirts? Probably. Thursday is probably a good day. I don't really have a whole lot going on Thursdays. Just this and whatever we're doing. Of course, I've got a bunch of stuff to do today. So it looks like tonight I'll be working on shirt graphics. Maybe today I'll be processing and saving Dimension X episodes while I'm working, because they take about an hour or so to save. It takes about 15 or 20 minutes to... Well, now it only takes a few minutes to create an episode. And then it takes an hour to 2 hours to process it and save it, depending on its size. But I've created a template, and all I have to do is drop in audio write my graphics, my text in, write in my text in 4 places, copy and paste that throughout the video, size it to the sound, to the audio file, and then title it and save it, and that's it. So it's pretty easy to, you know, create one of these videos now. It's just a matter of computer speed. So I'm happy about that. So chances are today is not going to get shirts. Tonight maybe. Today is probably just going to be saving out the four remaining Dimension X episodes, and that right there, I'm going to do some of those. Right there. I'm going to make some shirts specifically for me. And they're probably going to be, I'll make probably 10 of each of some special shirts. And then I'll have those special shirts to give away for channel stuff. But while I don't want to get involved in channel shirts right now, I do want to save those ideas for later. So let's see, today if I can get this bed out of here, take all of the stuff that doesn't need to be there, get it out into the storage on those shelves, get the stuff that's outside into the trailer storage, and then get this place cleaned up a little bit. That'd be good. There was something else I was thinking of, but well, that's what I get for thinking. That's it. I'll fix it. Yeah. So let's see. I've got things I can print on the computer. I've got to create some more. I've got to enhance the donation packet and create some more. I need to do available sizes. Post. I need to post available sizes so that people know what I can ship immediately and what we'll have to order, and what is going to be designed next, so that people can start getting excited about the next batch of shirts. My friend Fasha in Florida got hers already, and she said that she wants, I put a list of 10 shirts that we're going to do this first, the first 10 shirts that I listed those, and she said she wants them all. And that's great, because that just means that I'm hitting the right buttons. You know, I'm hitting them right buttons. Yep. Notifications from Facebook. Buttons, baby. Just fingers crossed that this grows exponentially. It just snowballs out of control, and so many orders come in that I spend all of my time packing and shipping shirts and drawing shirt designs and folding shirts and advertising shirts. If that's what it takes, I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to take that on full time and do that around the rest of my schedule, and then only do that. No more TV, no more, going out and having fun, just doing that. That would be it, and I'm fine with that, because that would mean that we would be able to generate the income needed to pull this party off. I'm ready. I'm ready to spend every day, 8 hours a day, working on t-shirts, reunion planning, and shipping t-shirts. I'm ready. Making t-shirts, designing, folding. I'm so ready. Wow. Yeah. Overwhelming response just with the first couple of shirts that have gone out. And I'm real happy. I'm so happy. I'm going to have to keep track of who's received their shirts already. So we've got a shipped, and I can put an R next to it for received. So it's been shipped, it's been received, it's been received, it's been received. So 3 shirts have been received. Let's see, posted. So I'm going to put a P for posted. So a photo has been posted. Somebody has posted a photo. Every little mark that I make in my ledger here tells me how devoted that person is to making this happen. Yeah. So I keep track of what money they sent, where it came, where it went, what it was used for, when I got their donation, their address, their shirt size, what designs they've received, everything. 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 Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's totally cool, man. All right. Well, that takes care of all of those donations have been fulfilled. hoping that by people posting photos of them in the shirts will hopefully remind a few people that they have pledged, and show the people who I have asked for donations who haven't responded yet that this is going on, this is happening. It's not just some scam, it's a way to generate income for this party. It ain't just some kind of freaking scam out of nowhere. Ooh, I know I can gouge all of my friends for money. It ain't that. If I had the money, I'd just do this myself and not bother anyone for money. I would just spend the money myself. But I don't. I can't spend this kind of money. Oh, I'm so excited. Totally. So I know I've got a list of shirt designs that I've been working on in here somewhere. This is venue information, party information on this post, on this book. Yep. Printouts of graphics that I was working on. Well, crap. I know I've got... Oh, pardon me, I bumped the microphone. I'm always doing that. Shirts. No shirt stuff. Well, I'm just gonna have to get busy and dig through all of my papers here and try to find shirt idea information, scour my phone and the computer, and try to come up with a comprehensive list of shirt designs that I need to be focusing on. There's just so many cool ideas, and I may, if this picks up enough speed, I may be doing a design, 4 designs a month, a design a week, and just keep pumping them out. You know, every week get a batch of shirts in the mail, and take that batch of shirts and a new design to the printers and say, okay, get them to me in a week. I want a week turnaround, you know. And then just do something like that. Here's a bunch of cash, here's a bunch of shirts, here's a design. I want to be a regular customer, right? Where we're both making good money on this, you know. I'd be so happy with that, right? I'd be so totally jazzed, man. Yeah, they're probably going to make me apply for a different insurance, and then I'm going to have to wait for that. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll be pushing closer and closer and closer to the reunion, and I wanted to be well settled in my new teeth before then. So it's got to be done between now and the first of the year, so that I've got 6 months to deal with getting into new teeth and learning them, I guess. I don't know. You know? Because for a guy who's got nothing going on, there's always a lot going on. Right? I feel like there's never enough of me. Right? And then I get so worn down to the nub. You know, yesterday I slept 3 or 4 hours, and had to fight to get up out of bed at like 5 or 5:30 or something. It was like, oh, I know if I just stay in bed, I'll just sleep and sleep and sleep, and then that'll really, really, really hurt. And then my hours will be thrown off, and I'll be like not being able to sleep at like 2 in the morning. So I got up and had dinner, and then got on the computer, of course, and stayed there for hours. After we watched the first episode ever of Columbo, a movie entitled Prescription Murder. And Gene Barry was the bad guy. Us watching him figure it out, and knowing that he's got it figured out, but he's just kind of making them squirm, stringing them along, so they incriminate themselves. Now I got stupid glitches happening on my technical end of this thing here. I hate it when that happens. So, bummer. Why does it come in the third hour, right? These third hour technical difficulties. Hey, what happened, man? Where'd you go? Hell. I don't know. Where'd I go? Totally, man. Burning it, man. Totally. Yeah. So I'm kind of bummed about the no more morning show for a little while, but I'm kind of excited about having all of the extra time to work on the computers, because when I'm using the computer, I can't. When I'm using the computer for live stuff, I can't use the computer to create stuff. So I'm kind of froze out, you know. Mauve. Yeah, got it. Well, that probably woke my wife up. A booking. And it's a recent booking for November, for this weekend. So that's great. That helps. Every little bit helps. I like to stay busy on the weekends, cleaning as many houses as we can clean, because I'm not good for much. And I'm not good for much most of the time. So if I can pack it all into a couple of small, easy days that generates just enough income every week to survive, and base thrive. We want to thrive a little bit. So if we can do that, I'm happy, because for a guy as broken as I am, that's enough, and that's a tall order sometimes. Sometimes I'm so broke down that I can't even do that. It's like, I'm sorry, honey, I can't go with you today. I'm nope. And I hate that. I hate those fucking days, where all I can do is just fucking stay in bed. It just hurts to even think about eating, let alone getting up and doing something. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But taking a break from mornings, devoting more time into creating content, all the borrowed content that I put together into videos to upload, I can do that in a tighter period, so that I'll have more time to then work on other stuff. I've been contemplating uploading a month of content at a time, which means for a week I would be uploading stuff every day, and probably having to redo my YouTube signing in stuff so that I can have more uploads per day. I think for Christmas I'm going to give myself YouTube Premium, so that I've got more stuff that I can use to create a better channel, and be able to upload more stuff. I'm not going to monetize my channel ever, because it's not that kind of channel. My channel should be like a public time machine, like a public library. It should be a public time machine. You should be able to check in and check out something and experience something, and then move on to the next thing. And then hopefully at some point we'll have some time this following year, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to come back really quick, and between now and the reunion we'll be able to do a lot of live discussion stuff. Now that we're going to have over 1,000 videos by the first of the year, right? That's a lot of stuff to talk about. So I'm hoping by then we'll get enough people interested and enough stuff to talk about that people will indeed come by and discuss movies on movie day, TV on TV day, old-time radio on that day, and so on and so forth. Because that's ultimately what it is. I want to try to generate conversations about this stuff and talk about it with people who may or may not know anything about it. People who are going to teach me stuff, and people who I can teach what I know. And that's it right there. Bang. It's a public time machine. Totally. Sure, we're doing a lot of time traveling through my life and the things that kind of helped create me, right? The way I am. I could just imagine what if my daughter was doing exactly what I'm doing, what her channel would look like. All of the things that interest her, that helped her become the person she is, things that she liked when she was younger, things that she likes now, and all the stuff in between. What would that look like? So that's all I'm doing. Let's take a journey through my life and take a look at a lot of the things that made me who I am, or things that I may have experienced or watched, or things that might have influenced me things that influenced me, but I never saw this film, but that actual thing in that, was a part of me. Yeah. In little parts, all of this has to do with who the hell am I? In fact, I just found a couple of videos of exactly that, little kid videos of, why I am, who am I, where did I come from, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be posting some of those too, and that'll be cool. That'll be cool, man. That'll be totally cool. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I just flashed back again to Manchester Avenue Elementary School in Watts, California. Back in the 70s. We were living in a motorhome out in front of some people's house, and we were there for a few weeks or months, a couple of months, probably just a few weeks. But we had just bounced back from South Dakota and Nebraska from the AIM elections, the American Indian Movement elections back there. And Dennis Means and Russell Banks and Dick Wilson and all these guys. Of course, Dick Wilson's going to probably win because, his goons. Yep, the wife is awake and just put that on the calendar. But I remember living there in Watts for a short amount of time and walking to and from school. Oh, the streets, the buildings, the empty lots, the traffic, the lights, the sounds, the smells, the parks, the school especially. It was a big giant brick of a building with windows all the way around, multiple stories with a big asphalt playground, no running allowed. There was a trailer, just a big block of a trailer, mobile home trailer sitting out in the playground, and that's where the playground attendant stayed. And if he saw you out there screwing up or messing up in any way, he'd bring you in there and he'd tell you to pick a paddle off of the wall. And he had just hundreds of paddles. Well, it seemed like it was probably 12. He had all these paddles on the wall, and you had to pick out a paddle to get hit, and he'd whoop you, right? And you wanted to pick, you didn't want a paddle with a lot of holes in it because those moved fast, right? So you wanted to pick one that didn't have too many holes in it because it would be slowed down by the wind, right? By the air. Ah, geez, and what do kids know about physics? Give me the one with holes that's lighter. It's going to hit you faster. Yeah. I think we got pulled in there once, and my parents had not given permission for corporal punishment, which is what they called it then. And so we didn't know anything about the playground or rules or anything like that. And they tried to bring us in and whip us, and we were like, nope, this ain't going to happen. Not on my watch. And we put up a big fight, and we had parents actually had to come in and say, no, that ain't happening. We do not give permission for you to beat on our children at your discretion. Because we never got beat at home. We were not. Our parents were physically abused as children, so therefore we weren't as a direct reflection of that. Of course, it could have been the opposite. We could have been beat worse because our parents were beat at kids. I'm going to beat my kids. Oh, boy. And it wasn't like that. We weren't physically abused as kids. Not physically. Mentally and emotionally, but not physically. So they, of course, wouldn't let others physically abuse us, not relatives or certainly not the school system. So that was a plus. But yeah, we came back and we didn't have any place to go to. We were out. We had left the Sierra Madre Canyon because of the whole Wounded Knee thing, and they were like literally stalking us, government stalkers. And So we were kind of in different places and would hang out in different places and get enrolled in different schools wherever we were staying. And that's pretty much how we were found out, was wherever we were enrolled in a school or wherever my father would be working, it would get us noticed, right? Schools, not so much. It would take longer for them to find out where we were in school, because that kind of information isn't. But you can put a tail on somebody through the, through government channels and know where somebody is working when their name pops up in a computer. Back then there were computers that kept track of payroll and banks and that kind of information. So through that kind of stuff, they would know exactly where my father was working. As soon as he started getting paid and started cashing checks, they would know right where we were, and we'd have to pick up and move again. So a lot of the times he would sell drugs under the table, of course, to make ends meet. And that's the only way that he could do it, so we could stay in one area for long enough time before they would use some other means of stalking us down and figure out where we were. We didn't have vehicles registered to us. We would be driving a vehicle registered to my grandmother, my father's mother, or we would be living in a motor home owned by someone else that we're borrowing, or a trailer owned by someone else. Stuff that we'd buy and just would not register. We had a school bus that he bought, a 1965 school bus that he bought in 1981 when we left Temecula, and we went to South Dakota, and then when we came back he bought a school bus and we moved into it. We bought that in 81. And then that never got registered. He never registered that bus because he knew if he registered that bus and had registration on it, they would know exactly where he was, post office box where he's, and the van that we had. I don't know if anybody ever remembers, any friends of mine who remember the big giant Dodge white van that we had through the 80s, right? That van always had Arizona license plates. They had it registered in Arizona just because they didn't want to have to deal with having it registered in our name where we were living. So, and it was cheaper, and because of the smog stuff, they registered it in Arizona at somebody's address there, I think my grandfather's address, and that was it. And they would just send it in once a year and pay for it. And there wasn't insurance back. Insurance wasn't mandatory, right? So, yeah, for the longest time, we lived in a vehicle that was unregistered, and we would just park it somewhere in somebody's yard, on somebody's property somewhere. We would park it in a trailer park, and quite often my father would put he would put the license plate on it, but usually it wasn't that license plate for that vehicle. It was a plate for another vehicle, and it had tags on it or some shit. And that's how he did it, you know. There were a lot of places that just didn't care if your vehicle was registered or not. It was just a dwelling, you know, a trailer, a motorhome, whatever. It's just a dwelling. You're just moving it from one spot to another. Why bother registering it? Yeah. But we lived nomadically for like, God, through half of the 70s and most of the 80s. I remember we had a house, a piece of property up in Awanga, east of Temecula, California. And it was just a rental property, 5 acres and a mobile home, really nice piece of property. We should have tried to buy it, but, you know, my parents are selling drugs and working odd jobs and shit, so that was never going to happen. We barely were able to keep it. I think we had to have roommates at some point living out there with us to help pay the fucking rent. And then we took on a bunch of dogs that this idiot who had gotten an inheritance and had bought a bunch of purebred dogs and then fucked them all over. And he started losing these dogs. And we finally made a deal with him and took all of the dogs from him. So we had 5 acres, so it was easy peasy. Of course, you know, my parents weren't too together, so those dogs didn't last too long before most of them were gone. So we didn't do those dogs any favor by taking care of them, really. We just extended their life a little bit. Yeah. But we were moved around. We moved all over the place. All the time. For like, it seemed like 12 years total. Off and on. A few houses here and there. We lived in Temecula for a couple of years. 79, 80 in there. And only because my grandmother put it in her name and rented it for us. And that was the only way we could do that. Otherwise, we never would have been able to live in a house for a couple of years. By the time we got the piece of property up in Awanga and rented that, it was so far out that it didn't really matter. They were just looking for somebody to rent the damn place because it was, you know, one of those places that was hard to rent. And it was great. I could still be living there. It was such a nice little piece of property. I wanted to stay there and live there, even though I did not enjoy living there with my parents. I was looking for a way to live there, but not in the same house. I was like, I built a tree house, and I was going to build this great tree house and live in it, right? So I built a platform, and then I built a staircase up to the platform. And that's as far as I got before we finally had to leave the house. Or I finally left because I couldn't take staying there any longer with them. But it was a great piece of property. Had a big giant garden. Had a big 5 acres of horse property. You know, trees and bushes and shrubs and old growth stuff. A hill and water tank, and yeah, it was fucking great. It was great. You know. But we finally had to move along from that. It happened, you know, so much growing up, having to move and move and move. Man, I got so burned out. But one plus was that when we got to the Lake Elsinore, Temecula Valley area, even though we were still moving all over, us kids still got to go to the same school, because there was, back then there were only a couple of schools in the areas, right? We went to Temecula schools, we went to Murietta schools, and we went to Lake Elsinore schools. And once we got to junior high and high school, we were pretty much there for the duration. You know, had I graduated, it would have been from Lake Elsinore High, or probably Ortega High. So, yeah. But those are the days, man. Back in the old days, that high school was really bitchin', you know. You could smoke on campus. I was getting high on campus. I was getting high on campus, and teachers knew about it, right? It was pretty bitchin'. Look at Oliver's awake. That means Mom's awake. That means it's, it's almost time to go. We're getting there. It's tickety-tick-tocking here. We listened to a lot of KMET back in the day, most certainly. Of course, they're gone now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Throwback Thursday, man, I'm always feeling the past. I'm going to start having to do stuff. Throwback Thursdays, I think, is going to become a day where I do we investigate things from the past, and I'll bring in physical items, and we'll go into them and talk about them, and explore how they came to be in my life, how important they were, or if they weren't. Stuff like that. I think Throwback Thursday is going to be talking a lot about things that happened in the old days, and the things that we had and we did back then. 8 tracks and books and movies and whatever. I'm starting to get hungry. Starting to get hungry. Hash? Maybe I'll make some roast beef hash, corned beef hash, and eggs, and toast. That sounds really good. Corned beef hash made from scratch, and eggs over easy, and hot buttered toast. Ooh, and juice. I could do that. Let's see, I'll talk Mom into doing potatoes, and I'll do the rest. Just peel me some potatoes, baby. I think we got potatoes. Potatoes, potatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Totally, man. Totally. And yeah, I gotta overhaul this place. I still got books all over the floor and papers and shit down here. My printer is a printer. Totally. Yeah, I think I'll do radio shows and house cleaning and organizing, and then this evening do shirt stuff and work on shirt design files and designs. And if I come up with a design, I'll just create a file for it, and then that will prompt me to work on that design. Rather than make a list, I'll just add a file in my shirt files, and then it's going to stay blank until I get to it and create something for it. Scan a graphic, find a picture, get something that I need to create that. Oh, yeah. But I get all these shirt ideas that pop into my head, and if I don't write them down, I quite often will lose them, and hopefully will come back to them if I'm prompted again to think about that. But, yeah, my brain is so fucked up. Yeah, in more ways than one. All right, I'm getting excited. Getting excited about breakfast. I'm getting excited about today. There's a lot going on today. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in me boner. Me boner's got a lot going on. Organization, I think, is key to what today is going to be about. Organization. Organizing the house, getting my computer stuff organized, getting the shirt stuff organized, getting this room here, all of these things organized. I need a some kind of shelf in my new office studio area so that I can keep books and files and things next to me that I'm constantly grabbing and working on while I'm on the computer. I've got like 6 notebooks here, shirt stuff, channel stuff, that I need to have with me all the time. So I'm going to have to create a little horseshoe-shaped area to work in that holds everything I need. You know, I'm using folding wooden dinner trays here as tables to put stuff, and I need some kind of I need a shelf. I need a bookshelf. I need a little bookshelf cabinet that I can put in that room there. Something to put books on. And if I can do that, I'll free up some bookshelf space in here to put more records, probably. Yeah, probably, because I've got at least a cubby's worth over here that I need to get worked into all of this stuff here. Wow. Arr. And then I get stacks of magazines and all kinds of stuff. More bookshelf, yeah, because I can then bring in some more books that I have outside in storage. Books, magazines, sci-fi magazines. I'd like to do episodes of stuff where I'm just reading, like my old English teachers used to do in junior high. And they just sit, turn off all the lights, and close the windows, and light a candle, and sit there and read stories to us, right? Not like little kiddie stuff, right? But like reading really, really classic Edgar Allan Poe and science fiction and Alfred Hitchcock stuff, and just really, really classic literature, right? But do dramatic readings. And I used to love that. So maybe I'll do some of that old school type stuff. But I'll have plenty of time off to work on my computer abilities and creating a lot of new content to enhance my channel. New intros and outros and themes and themed shows and a bunch of new videos. I can't wait to create original content videos again. I just find that when I'm in this mode of creating borrowed content videos, I kind of want to stay in that mode. So if I can squeeze all of that into like a week of just uploading everything for a month or more, then that's going to free me up to then work on other stuff for three weeks, right? And then a week of uploading, and then a week of creating original stuff. Yeah, baby. Need to get back to basics. And along with creating a whole bunch of shirt stuff. Lots of shirt stuff. I know people are going to start asking on here on the channel in the comments. They're going to start asking about shirts, and the only thing I can say is that it's a donation party thing, and unless you're really going to be somehow directly involved, it's really not necessary, right? It's not like I want to be sending shirts to different parts of the world or to really perfect strangers from the whole thing. You know, if you know me, then yes. If you know the event and you're going, then yes. If you're from that hometown, then yeah, especially yes. You know, but if you're really just kind of a channel viewer, then it's you have the right to remain uninvolved. And probably should, because it's just, it's reunion stuff. Totally. But there are a few people probably involved in YouTube who are strictly from YouTube that I will definitely get involved in the reunion. You know, new people are invited too. People who have never been to our hometown are invited. It's not exclusive to hometown people. People's friends who've never been here are gonna come. So it's gonna be a weird event. Lots of different people. We may have people from other parts of the world. Who knows? If we have friends who have friends in other parts of the world who are going to be here and want to come, then yeah, it's going to be like that. But, man, a lot of good feedback on shirts. Everything, so far, everything has been positive with all of the feedback on the people who've gotten their shirts, the people who or want to go to the reunion, people who want to get involved with the whole thing in some way. It's all been really positive, and I love that, you know. Because I won't take any negative Nellies. I just won't do it. You got any negativity, man? Keep it to yourself. I don't want no Debbie Downers, man. Oh man, you better be careful about that. Don't even go there. I'm thinking of all that, the ins and outs, and all of the pros and cons. It's what I do. I think and worry and stress and plan and agendize and graph and chart. You know, it's what I do, so that this is going to come off perfectly. No problem. Regardless of where the budget is, it will generate enough of a budget to pull off a pretty cool event. Period. And the more people that get involved, the better it'll be. I don't expect having to make this more than just a vacation rental house on the beach with a big house and a big beach. I don't see it needing to be anything more than that. By the time we get a couple of months to the event, we'll know if it's going to need to be more than that. And then if we have the opportunity, we'll switch venues. But more than likely, it's going to be in one of two places, possibly one of three places that I have in mind. So as we start getting more and more people involved, more and more donation money generated, I'm going to be reaching out more and more to these people to try to get something set up tentatively for now, and then so that I can secure something later if I need to. It's going to be easy to get the campground provided, because they don't reserve the place that I want to camp on, right? So I don't need to worry too much about that until we're about a month out. And then I need to go in and say, okay, look, we're going to come in and spend a lot of money, so you have to reserve this for me. And I'll come in and block it off and get there a couple of days ahead of time and deal with all of that and start setting up stuff. But, you know, and then a vacation rental, it's just a matter of getting something before it gets booked. And then the backup place for that is just a big piece of property where we're just going to be right on the beach. And it'll just mean probably camping and rented facilities and tents and canopies and portable stages and that kind of shit. And I don't really want to go there. I would prefer the house. I would prefer a big vacation rental house right on the beach with a lot of rooms and a lot of beach and a lot of outdoor amenities. That would be key. That would be perfect for probably the couple of dozen people or more that we're going to have there. Probably less than 100, you know, realistically. If it gets beyond that and out of control, then that's probably not a good place for it. The campground or the beach would probably be better, the private beach, which would be probably more our speed, just a lot of open property that we can set up a campground and stage and roll out a fake lawn and do all of that. That's going to be a lot logistically, but I'm trying to plan this in many different directions, so the budget will dictate which direction we have to go at, and the population, the people who have said they're definitely coming, that will also dictate which direction we're going to go in for a venue. Right? So there's a lot going on. There's a lot planning-wise. I still have to try to get with people who are in the know with real estate in the area to see if we can get some better options. But for right now, it looks like we've got like 3 options. All right, and I've been in talks, discussions with one with the campground, and I've been trying to stir up some correspondence with the vacation rental, but unless you start flashing money, they don't really want to talk to you. They just think you're one of those people who just wants to ask questions and talk and string them along, and then, so I can understand that. So at some point I will have to get back to somebody and say, look, we're absolutely serious. This time's ticking. We need to rent this place. You know, can I, you know, I don't want to do a no money down payment. I don't know anything about Airbnbs. I'm going to have to get somebody else involved in doing the whole rental of the Airbnb thing or vacation rental or wherever it is, mainly because the whole financial transaction is probably out of the question, but not the financial situation, because if we're going to go after something, we'll have the financial backing to do it, but it's not going to go through my bank account, so it'll have to be somebody who can deal with that. So at some point we'll get into doing that, and I'll get that person involved with messaging and making connections and contacts with the people who have the house that we're going to go after. So there's a lot to do logistically, and I'm hoping that at some point I'm just going to have to just bite my lip and go after people and just say, okay, look, you're the person that I have in mind for this specific task. It's only going to take X amount of time out of your schedule to deal with it. Can you please deal with it? You know, all you've got to do is this, and when we get close to it, you got to do this and this, and that's it. You don't have to think about it. You know, I will take care of everything else, but you gotta be in charge of this, and then I got to get other people in charge of other things, logistically, who can be financially responsible for stuff, and I will just be funneling them the funds. The money will just be channeled to them as those things need to happen. So therefore, everybody kind of shares in the financial hit, right? Yeah, I don't want to have all that coming through my bank and have to pay taxes on that kind of crap, because it's not income. Nobody can look at it that way. So, you know, it'll come in. If you're going to have to take a hit, it'll have to be as a gift, right? Gift tax, whatever. Or, you know, don't report it, or however people can do that. I don't know. My stuff is so scrutinized so closely by everybody that I have to report everything. So, yeah. And I can't create an account for this like some people are saying. Well, just create an account for, you know, or get this or get that, or, you know. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't have that shit coming through me. What I want is more coffee. That's what I want going through me. That's it. So it looks like I am going to get up and get some kind of breakfast rolling here. Hopefully my wife hasn't gotten any food yet, so that we can be on the same food page this morning, because that's always good. I hate it when our schedules are off, you know, our eating schedules. That always sucks. Totally. It totally sucks, man. Yeah, baby. Well, I don't know if you're still there. Joey, Jacob, yo, Jake the Snake. I am going to see you guys tomorrow, I guess. And I don't know who else has been around this morning, but I certainly have. So everybody, peace. Take it easy out there. All right. I am going to roll end credits so I can get out of here and cut the mustard, man. I need to get this day pushing, rocking and rolling. So everybody out there, you know what to do. Be kind to each other. Spread peace and love, not bullshit. Do something for yourself, but do something for somebody else too. Why? Because we are not alone in this world. We are together in this. So help each other out. All right? Most especially, be sure to stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody gonna do it for you, baby. All right, that does it for me today, Thursday, November 14th, 2024. I am signing off, and I will be back once again tomorrow morning. All right, that does it, you guys. Take care of yourselves out there. Love you. Adios. Bye for now.